And in this video, ang ako ra i-discuss is the two ways to draw the shear and moment diagram. The first is through equation, and the second is to area method, the shorter way. Any of those two you can use as long as which is convenient to you and asay mas dali pod. And this is how. So ang unang jud na imong buhaton is if dili given ang reactions sa supports sa inyong beam, mo inyong una i-calculate. And then by calculating it, convert the distributed load into a point load para masayon ra inig solve. But here, since we're already given with the reaction in A and in B, or by the way, this is just a simply supported beam, pin at A and roller at B. But then wala ra ta nag-solve sa reaction horizontal at A because aside from there is no horizontal force at this beam, dili ra sad nato main concern ang horizontal because we're after the bending or the forces that causes shear and bending to our beam. And if horizontal na siya nga force, makakos ra na og axial sa beam or kanang compressive or tension sa atong beam, but not actually the or dili gyud the shear and bending. So now, without daghang istorya, ingani-on. So i-convert una nato ning uniformly varying load, or in other words triangular load like this, by just the area of the shape. Since this is just a triangle, so the formula is just 1/2 base times height. So the base here is just 9, and then the height is just this 80. So 80, and that should be equal to 360. So kining 360 mo na siya ato ibutang dire as the point load, 360 pound after nato na get. And then here, ang distance or the centroid is just, this is the right triangle, 1/3 gikan dire. So 9 divided by 3 is just 3 here. And if gikan po dire sa tumoy, then I face nga side or the shorter side, ang ato ra is 2/3 the base or the 9. So it's just 6 here. Ano lang. And now, to do the equation method, mukat rata og beam. Mukat rata sa along the beam. So if this is the length of the beam, gaana maning load ani. And then I cut it right here. Unsa may mahitabo? Of course, anang wa pa nato gi-cut, balance tanan ang forces. So tanan nga gapalugsong ma-counter sa angat. But since giputol man na siya, and then wala naman na siya nagkonekta diha, nagyud dapat force nga mo counter act ana aron balance ra gyapon, or in other words sum of the forces or sum of the moment equal to 0 lang gyapon, diba? Ana na siya dire. So kana sila nga forces mo na gitawag nga internal forces. Ang kana nga internal force kay the V or the shear, and then the other one is the moment. So ang sign convention lang is if gikan ta sa left, so left to right, then mukata dire ang atong downwards nga V mo na siya positive, and then ang ana that would cause the beam nga mo bend siya nga paana concave up positive, if paana negative siya concave up smile, and then negative basta pa ingani. So mo ni siya actually ang mahitabo if ikat nato ang beam. So we will draw the imaginary line to our original. So ang original gyud kay is ingani, iri kay 80 pound per foot, while here this is no longer 80, diba? Kaya gikat naman siya here 80, and then it decrease. So that is why ang ato ibutang diha is a variable which is y, or assume another variable for much easier to kuan, y lang. And then the cut should be from the very left towards where we cut it. So dire man tani cut, so that's our x. And the original is just 9, di ba? Muna original from here. Then the reaction di na to kalimtan ang reaction. This is 120 here. This is A, and then this is B here. And to denote kung asa ta ni cut, ato lang i-label as from A to B, and then our cut or the equation should only be valid from 0. Could be the x could be this x pwede siyang equal or greater than 0, meaning it could be 0 or it could be 3, but within 9 ra siya, greater than equal to 0 but less than or equal to 9. Muna siya atong cut from left to right, A to B. So kini na silbi. And then again, kung unsa atong gibuhat dire, mo sa datong buhaton dire sa ato ang force nga y, di ba? Katong ganina 360 to siya kay 80 man ang atong height, but then dire di naman 80 ang atong height. Ang atong height this time is y na. So the triangle we'll focus on is this. So y, then base is x, and then what's the formula? 1/2 base times height ra gyapon. So this would be 1/2 y times x. Muna ni ang force dire nga mo counteract dire sa shear nga this one, V. Then the moment, which is this then raglaing color, which is M. Na. But then, di man ta ganahan nga na ay y sa atong equation. We want it in terms of the x, or this distance here. That's why ang atong buhaton is we use the idea of similar triangles. So this triangle here, this one is similar to this bigger one, ba? Therefore, it's y is to x, this one is to this base. That should be equal to this 80 is to 9, diba? So 80 is to 9. And then, if we simplify that, y should be 80 over 9x. We can further simplify that, but let's leave it just like that for a moment. And now that we have this y in terms of this one, in terms of x, pwede na ito ilisdan ng y ire. Muna na nato siyang, therefore, ang kaninga force di ay, so that force is equal to, since 1/2 y x mo na siya, 1/2 times y times x, may muna na siyang 1/2 times this 80 over 9 x times this x, diba? Muna y, muna ang y, then times x, diba? Here. So again, atong ibuhat ni kata dire, and then this one napurma siya ingana, then the original. So wala ta ni cut in the sa tong pinakatumoy ni kata within the beam. So this one 0 to 9. Then muna ni ang y. So the height won't be 80 here. This kay dire ang 80, so y na ni dire. So muna siya similar triangles, and then get y in terms of x, ana lang. Then replace y with this x, or the value of y here. So tanan in terms of x na. So 80 over 18 over x squared na ang ato ang force. So now that we have this force, we can now get the shear equation. So unsa may shear equation ani? So for shear equation, that's V. Ang ato ra dapat na timan-an, since kabalo naman ta nga all the forces must sum up to 0. Ang ato ra timan-an is all the forces that goes down must be equal to all the forces that goes up. So up equals down. So dire, since V is going down, all that's opposite to it, just like this 120, on the other side, positive na siya. May siyang equals 120 if opposite sila. So V is equal to 120. While this one, since our F is going along V, mahimo na siyang negative dire. Negative F. Again, since opposite sila, they will have different signs kung equate na to 0, di ba? So if opposite sila, direktarag V is equal to 120, and then all the forces that would go along this V nga imong ganahan, may imong negative ang sign. So morning ang atong shear is V is equal to 120 minus F. And then let's just substitute lang kung unsay value sa F. Kabalo naman ta nga ang f is this one. 80/18 x squared. With this one, we had naanatay equation for shear. This is now the equation for shear. Diba? Ana lang. Na atong equation for shear. And then for the moment equation, so our equation for moment, since moment is force times distance, we need the distance here. Ang nara nato dire is the force. Applying again the idea of centroid, since this is just a triangle, lagi 1/3 the base ra siya. From gikan sa kuan sa the right angle sa triangle. Kini may tabo nga x/3 na. Ano namang x/3? Well, ang atong base kay x, di ba? And then 1/3 gikan dire. So ang force kini located siya x/3 from kung asa ta mag-moment. Kalagmitan na mo take tag moment adinhi man sa kung asa ta ni cut, di ba? V and M. Diha man ta ni cut, diha ta mo take og moment. So ang distance niya, ang kaninga force from where ta mo moment, mo take og moment is x/3. And if diri po kagikan sa other side, that's 2/3 this x, 2/3 that distance. Ana lang. So our moment equation should be unsa man. So here, all the forces that go counterclockwise should be equal to all the forces or moment that go counterclockwise. So since 120, if diri ta mo take og moment diri sa cut, diri, since that 120 would cause clockwise, and our moment here is heading the opposite, kanang duha equal. So our force times our moment arm, which is x, mahimong moment equals 120 times x. And then what are the other forces? Di ba kinira silang duha ang forces. So after that, ang f na pod. So pila may distance sa f? It's x/3, di ba? Kini siya x/3. But then what is the sign? Since it goes along the m, di ba? Pareha na sila. May mo siyang negative. Negative na siya dire. So di ora atong m, gaana siya. While this 120, gaana siya, mo nang equal sila. And then this one, negative siya kay ni ana, pareha siya sa m. So minus, unsa man to? F times x/3, di ba? But then, kabalo naman ta nga ang x/3 is unsa may x/3. Kuan ang f is unsa may f? Ang f is this one. 80/18 x squared. So 80/18 x squared times x/3. So muna ni ang atong, di ba? Look. Muna ni ang ato ang moment equation. So muna ni ang atong moment. Taran, ano ta? Shear and moment equation. So this one is for shear, this one is for moment. If we simplify this a little bit, may mo siyang 120x. So in terms of x tanan, no, the distance in the beam, over 80, 18 times 3, x times x is x cubed. So, ana lang. Now, kung mag-drawing na ta sa diagram, kung unsa ni siya purma ni sila, all we have to calculate is what is the shear. Since na naman tayo equation, we can just substitute any number we want here. Basta sulod ra siya along our beam. Makalculate na to pila ang shear diha or pila ang moment diha dapit. Since ang atong concern is what is the moment at A, what is the moment or the shear or moment at A, what is the shear and moment at B, we substitute the distance. So at A, unsa may atong x sa A? Dire A. Diba dire man gikan atong x. So at A, our x is 0. So, ang atong ibutang ire at x equals 0, therefore ang atong shear or the V at A is what? Substitute ratag 0 dire. So since kanira may naay 0 sa ato ang kuhan, or naay x, so if we substitute 0 here, ang mabili mawala ni, di ba? So ang mabili na lang is 120. So at A, ang atong is 120. Then at x equals sa tumoy, which is 9. Ang B, di ba? Naa siya sa 9. So at x equals 9, what's our BV? Or the shear at B? So let's substitute here 9 and let's see what we get. So that would be 120 minus 80 over 18 times 9 squared, diba? So we got negative 240. So ang shear nato is at B is negative 240. So na natay values, diba? And then tanawa, ang ato dire is 240, diba? So it matches. And then for the moment, what will be our at x equals 0 or at the very left end of our beam, what should unsa man ato ang moment? So moment at A is what? We substitute 0 here, or in it is x, di ba? Tanan sila na x, therefore ma-cancel out ra kay 0 times any number is just 0. So 0 minus 0 mo nang MA is 0. And then at x equals B or the 9, unsa man ang ato ang moment at B. So dire is pinaka tungay dire. So substitute ra nato ang 9. So 80 over 18 3. Sige, ana ni siya. So 120 times unsa man to x, that's 9 minus 80 over 18 times 3 naman to times cube. So 9 cube. So ang atong answer is 0. So mobalik lagi na sa 0. So at x equals 9 or the very right end, our moment there is just 0. Alright, nanatay shear and moment at A and B. One last thing, our concern is asa man maximum ang moment. So ang answer is the moment is maximum at V equals 0. Kung atong shear gani mo dapat, for example, para makita ninyo, kung inana gani ato ang kuan, tiri nga point, maximum ang ato ang shear diha. I mean moment, basta inana. Basta mo dapat siya 0, di ba mo man is 0 sa V. Kung mo dapat gani siya 0, the moment nga ang shear nato, the equation, touch siya 0 here, maximum ang atong moment diha. So now, para may bal-an nato kung asa dapit dire along the beam, this distance, x, asa man dapit diha, wata kabalo, na ba siya tunga-tunga, na ba siya 1/3 ba siya? Para mabalan, i-equate nato ang ato ang equation sa shear to 0. Diba our shear is here, 120 minus 80 over 18x squared, diba? So we just replace V with 0. Kaya kabalo naman ta nga at V equals 0, the moment the V becomes 0, diha ang maximum. So we will get the distance x. So let's just solve for x right here. So if we do that using some algebra, may tabo, may mo siyang square root of 120 over 80 over 18. So our x is approximately 5.20. So this one here, it should be 5.20. Then substituting this 5.20 to our moment equation, we will get the value. Dapat 5.20. Then here, 5.20. If we do that, 120 times 5.20 minus 80 over 18 times 3, then cube, 5.20. Our max moment, bending moment is 415.69. So now, ang ato nang buhaton is i-draw na nato ang shear and moment diagram. This is it. So, mamani ang original, di ba? Kaana. Original. And then this here is what? That's 120, then 240 to the other side. 240. And this here is 360 ba to? Yes, 360. Kay dire 80 pound per foot. So for shear, ato rang kuanon. This is A right here, di ba? A and B. So pila may shear at A? Shear at A mo ni 120. So ato rang isulat positive 120. So na siya dire 120. And then at B, pila man at B. So the shear at B is negative 240. Negative 240. Then maunsa man na siya porma. Since ang dire is increasing, di ba? And the load is going down. So negative siya. Kinira ato i-follow gyapon nga format. PD and D NI and D PI. Please do not neglect infant, neglect dumb people instead. So kini negative increasing mo ni ang forma this side paana siya. So 120 to paingog negative 240 inani ang yan shape. Na. So muna niya ato ang shear diagram. And then di ba ang distance ani is 9 feet. 9 ba? And then muni ang atong concern, pila maning x diri man tani cut dapat padulong dire. So pila daw na kay diri man ni touch kung kabantay mo dira ni touch ang ato ang shear equation or this graph sa 0. So diha dapat ang ato ang max. Then pila ato ang MA is 0, MB is 0, dira. So ato isulat dire ana. And then atong concern diri dapat kung asa ang V nga mo 0, diha ang maximum. Ba? So from 0 at A, 0 at B, maximum siya at X equals pila man na dire 404.47. That is now our maximum moment. So ang porma ana niya this one diri ra ibase ana nga shape. That's positive siya, di ba? Kay na siya positive, na siya diri nga positive. Kung kini na siya negative. Kana kay positive man ni siya. And then decreasing mo ni ang ato ang porma PD. So kana na siya. And then this one negative and then increasing. So this one, diba? Negative increasing. So this na. So muna niya ato ang moment diagram. By the way, B is in pounds while M is in pound foot. And then please take note nga kini siya is in second degree. Kay this is linear or first degree. Kay triangle man siya, triangular man siya, linear iyang equation. Well, this one is parabolic or second degree and this one is third degree. So that's how you solve this equation, or that's how you draw the shear and moment diagram of this particular given through equation method. And then the other method, I will discuss it on another video. That's way shorter and faster to solve, time saver compare ani. Kato siya kuanto siya through the area method. So area ra ani may basihan, di nakamukat og beam. But either ways you can use, both have their advantage and disadvantages. Pero ang importante makabalo ka kung unsaon paggamit. So that's it. Thanks for watching and peace out.